What's up, guys? How's it going? I got a game for us to look at today on Lee Chess. And welcome, guys. US Virgin Islands Chess. How's everybody doing? So we have a game here we're going to take a look at now. And this was just played this morning. And hi, guys. Yeah. This was a game from this morning. It was actually a drawn game and very, very interesting. We're going to title this series of this video for my intermediates or experts eternal or beginners. This video should be open to everyone. It's called The Story of a Black Knight. And the reason for that is because my Black Knight, my Kingside Knight actually, we'll get into it just now, guys and girls and guys, USVI Chess, welcome. It's your host Colin Heim. So good to be doing this video for everyone today and myself, for also my own personal review. Welcome, guys. Okay, so E4 opening again, and actually I just showed everyone a video just the other day, guys, right? We went over a game in a video, a virtual Lee Chess instructional just like this one. And we looked at this Bowdler variation, right? The Bowdler variation, sorry, Bowdler, okay. Tomato. Anyway, same setup as the previous game. And my player with the white piece is after H6, guys, and C3, D6, D4, and black is always encouraged to capture here, by the way, guys. So C's supposed to take D, right? I didn't take D4, instead knight F6, okay? D takes C, D takes C, queen captures queen, knight captures queen on D8, and now E5, knight E4, and short castles. Let's just stop there, guys, okay? That was a very interesting sequence. Okay, very, very interesting. So, let's just take it back now. Just a moment. Remember we mentioned that black is often encouraged to capture here, the d4 pawn, instead knight f6. And actually allowing him to capture. Because after I recapture that c pawn now, guys, after d takes c, queen captures queen. Now, the ticket isn't really to take with the king here. I lose my castling privileges. Luckily, I have my knight developed on c6 to cover d8 square. Now I take with the knight. E5, as we mentioned, now knight e4, short castles, and now I continue with knight to e6, guys. Welcome US Virgin Islands Chess. How's everybody feeling? Another online virtual tutorial from lichess.com. This is Colin Heim, guys. This was a intermediate expert level game, I would say, and I was lucky to get a draw in this game with the black pieces, guys, earlier today. And my player with the white pieces, he played some strong moves. He actually made a couple mistakes. Let's just go over some moves here. We don't have to say all the moves all the time, guys. We can just kind of move the pieces and follow along. Kind of gets a little overbearing when you say the names of the squares and their numbers and letters. But anyway, this was interesting. Bishop captures d7, king captures d7. And actually now, as black guys, we see that the king is active. Okay, f4 coming, attacking the knight. Knight e6. Pressure on the e6 knight, guys, again with a pawn push. f5 now by white. White looks pretty good, huh? Well, here's the story of the black knight, guys. It's kind of like the little engine that could. And this little engine actually got me to a winning position in the game. Let's check it out. So it all starts with f4, guys, kind of right. Forcing my knight back, making another knight move, now hopping to f4. My opponent moves his knight to e4, and thinking that knight d3 is the ticket here, guys, for black, and after rook d1, and, you know, pushing that c-pawn now, defending the knight. Of course, here comes bishop e3. Really, what was probably better than bishop e3 was just b3, and how to defend that knight now, right? If after pawn capture, so I have to move my king out of the way. What's this? Say something like king d7, or something along those lines. But he didn't. Instead, he thought it was just better to develop his dark square bishop. Uh, yeah, so even if after C captures, B captures C, guys, now there's double pawns on the C file. So what are we talking about? We're saying, like, instead of playing that bishop move, if white here in this position plays pawn b2 to b3, I still have a knight there on, a pawn there on e5 that I can capture with that d3 knight. After my king moves, of course, so I'd have to move somewhere to like king c7, to the c7 square with my king, for example. Anyway, guys, bishop e3 played by my opponent, and now finally b3, the move that we were just talking about, a previous move that we said maybe should or should not have been played. Anyway, as I mentioned, guys, taking the e5 pawn, I did it, and b takes c4 here, and then now just knight takes. So this really is the story of a black knight, and we're learning about, look at black as completely undeveloped. I mean, the bishop is, the kingside pawn is undeveloped. It just looks really, really bad, but this one piece is kind of just running the show for me right now. I mean, again, with this sequence of moves, this moves b captures c, knight captures c, and then, bishop back to f2, followed by g5. Now, the engine says, guys, that g5 is a move here is actually not a good move. It's saying white can take en passant, which he or she did, and then I captured with f7. So f7 captures on g6. We have rook attacking the knight here, right? If rook takes, then now it's a check, and black is kind of in a not in a very homey position. It actually is quite boisterous and annoying at that point. We wouldn't want to give up just a piece there, guys. Okay, so I put my knight back on b6. He's double up rooks now on the d file, right? So now he has his a1 rook swung over to d1. Now it looks like white's really threatening something. Bishop g7, guys. Now just attacking that first center rook in front of the first rank there, right? Rook 4 d3, right? Rook 4 d3 and knight a4. Knight a4, bishop d4, right? Saying, well, if you go for that b2 square and try to fork my rooks, I'm taking your bishop first, right? So obviously something has to be done about this. I said, okay, desperate game for me now. e5, attacking the bishop. It was actually a mistake here to take the pawn. I guess he didn't realize that I was covering that d6 check square, guys. If he plays something here, she plays like rook d6 and checks me, that bishop actually has that d6 check square covered. So I'm actually in better shape now because I'm just up a whole minor piece, guys. It says there +3, up a whole bishop for no compensation whatsoever. And it looked like he was kind of conceding the game here after that exchange of rooks. And then rook f8, king g2, knight c5, knight captures. And that's a blunder, guys, because let's just take it back here. Find a better move for knight that actually wins black the game instead of just giving up the win for a really sort of sad draw here. Yeah, up a whole bishop, I mean, you should just be able to convert this very simply. But instead, putting the knight on a wrong square. But what a story of that black knight, guys. Again, that's the title of this video, right? That knight had such a long course. The knight that's on b6 right there in that position. That black knight had a huge course this game. It was incredible. And it's definitely worth sharing with you guys for, our online virtual tutorials, guys. Captures. Yeah, again, this is all good, and then just blundering, guys. So, we'll just play the last couple moves of the game just to show how it was a draw. But just put that knight on a better square. Put it on b6, right? Not blundering this exchange, because after king captures that knight, guys, do we not just see it? Rook is coming to d5, and now the bishop is just hanging along with the check. So, yeah, king gets the capture, but after the rook recaptures the bishop on e5, and something like I played knight to d8, just going for the check square now on d2. Check the king. King goes to g3, and now b5 is coming. It's all just drawing because even though his rook is on a7 defending his a2 square, he doesn't have any sort of continuation because there's always going to be a double threat here, and that this is exactly where the game terminated in a draw, guys. Just perpetual, and after this threefold repetition, I just claimed a draw. So, not bad for black. Yeah, I think that knight got exhausted, and I think it just blundered itself really on that square. That's okay, it happens. You know, you try to limit the amount of mistakes that you really make in all your chess games. It was a mistake, but you know, that's okay. A draw actually in this game wasn't that bad because as we go back to the let's go back to the original position here, guys. You know, the starting Sicilian of the Bowdler. So this is the second Bowdler we've talked about, guys. Really interesting stuff, huh? Yeah, this is it. This is the Bowdler variation of the Sicilian defense. And it's kind of like, well, a lot of grandmasters right now, especially guys online, are playing this h6, by the way, c3 and d6, d4, not taking, trying to spice it up and go for something a little more elementary. And, you know, queens are exchanged so early in this game. And there's a story of a black knight that, yeah, the g5 knight there, guys, just did an amazing job and won me the game, but then, you know, I put my knight on a bad square and blundered my own bishop. So, yeah, that was really nice. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys got a lot out of this little tutorial, as you should in probably all these online virtuals for USVI chess. Yeah, it's a bishop g7, and this was all good, and he's actually now completely winning after he is forced to, I think maybe he felt like he was forced to give up the bishop there, guys, but after all this, exchange those rooks, and just don't blunder that knight, right? That just wasn't the right square. The knight had so many squares to go to. Something like even b2 works, attacking the rook, and then you can go to somewhere like d3 and then check on f4. Yeah, there was many better ways to handle that, guys. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Good job. Good job keeping up to you guys. We'll see you guys on the other side. Okay, bye-bye for now.